Cristiano Amon, CEO and President of Qualcomm. Thank you so much for joining us.
Very happy to be here.
So let's start with earnings. In Q2, Qualcomm reported revenue growth across the business. IoT, handset, auto. What's driving that growth?
Look, that's a great question. We were very happy with this earnings season. I know there was a sea of negativity, around there, but we're very happy with the results. Our business is growing across all segments. In different drivers of growth. Handsets, we grew 50%, projected to grow 50% a year, 56% in a quarter. Automotive, we added $3 billion to our design win pipelines, now in excess of $16 billion. But then the broader theme of digital transformation is really driving our IoT segment, and 61% growth year over year. So all businesses are growing, and the diversification of Qualcomm is working.
And I want to drill down on a couple of things, but I'm especially interested in your move into auto. Broadly, talk me through what your strategy in auto looks like.
Yes. If I start from a very 30,000 feet level, we know that cars are becoming connected computer on wheels. And the car companies need a partner that can provide them all the digital technology so that they can compete with Tesla. And we look into that, and we created something very unique, which is the Snapdragon Digital Chassis. We really created a digital platform. We're one of the few companies actually that has capabilities across all the domains, connecting the car to the cloud, doing the entire digital cockpit experience of the car, creating a service platform because the car is going to distribute media, it's going to distribute gaming, it's going to have a lot of data for telemetry, and ADAS and autonomy all in one-stop shop. That's resonating well with the industry. If anything, it's one of the fastest, growth that we had, and we're now working with 26 of the global brands.
To that end, you recently announced a deal with Stellantis. I really like the phrase digital cockpit because that's what a Maserati is. It feels kind of like a rocket ship. So tell me a little bit about how that Stellantis deal came to be.
Look, it was a perfect match. It's a company that has a lot of scale. The merger of FCA with PSA, they have 14 different brands. Across every one of those brands, digital is important, and the ability to have a partnership that we can actually build a platform that can scale across the 14 different brands, multi-tier, multi-year. It was completely aligned with the direction they're going, and I think that's just the beginning of something big between Qualcomm and Stellantis.
Yeah, I was going to say, what exactly made Qualcomm and Stellantis a fit for each other right now, specifically?
They are a company looking really to build on their scale, streamline their operations, and actually transform with technology across all their brands. And Qualcomm is a company that can provide an open, scalable, flexible platform that meet that needs. And the other part of it is two companies that are committed to innovation.
Mm-hmm. So tell me then a little bit about deal making in general. How do you approach it, particularly when it comes to auto, but also more broadly?
This is one thing that is very unique about Qualcomm. Qualcomm is really a company that's built on partnerships. And can we create value for our customer even before we can create value to ourselves? And I think that leads to win-win partnerships that both companies will benefit from the technology, and we are a company focused on long-term customers and relationships, not short-term.
And tell me a little bit about, the Stellantis deal obviously is a big moment, but should we expect to see more deals like it?
Stay tuned. I think you're going to see a lot of news from Qualcomm recently. The digital cockpit, the connectivity of the car with the cloud, ADAS and autonomy, all of those elements of the digital chassis is winning. And we're very proud of what we accomplished. And we expect to be able to talk about more partnerships in the near future.
Yeah, I want to go back to actually something you said that I think is really interesting. You said that Qualcomm really looks for long-term partnership, which I assume for Qualcomm, a company that's been around for a very long time, is years, decades. How do you go about picking your partners? whether it's in handset, auto?
That's a great question because Qualcomm is expanding. We used to count our customers on the handset industry in two hands and then one hand. If you just look, for example, our industrial IoT, we have in excess of 13,000 new customers. And the process really is, can we identify customers that we really help them solve problems with our technology? Can we make them a better company? And then in the process, they can make us a better partner.
And to that end, I'd like to pivot just a little bit. I'd love to talk about your mobile chip strategy. Broadly, what is that strategy moving forward?
The strategy for mobiles now is very clear. Our strategy for mobile is to be focused on premium and high-tier Android. We want Snapdragon to be synonymous with a flagship experience on Android, and that's what's happening right now. As a result of the focus on really setting the pace of innovation in the Android ecosystem, you just saw in this quarter, we expanded our relationship with Samsung. We used to supply about 40% of the Galaxy platform. With the Galaxy S22, we're now north of 75%, and that shows the strategy is working.
And then tell me a little bit about competition. You know, we're seeing a lot of companies get into the space that previously weren't. You know, Apple, Google, Amazon. How does Qualcomm continue to compete? How is Qualcomm approaching that? And does Qualcomm beat everybody out?
Well, I would say Qualcomm always win with technology. If the elevator pitch in the company, we're about everything wireless. It doesn't matter, cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, position, location, everything high-performance computing for a low-power device, whether CPU, GPU, artificial intelligence, camera, etc. And we strive to be the best of each one of those technologies. And that's how we think about competition. We're always going to win with technology at the end. However, I'll answer your question a little bit different. You can look at Qualcomm as a company has been in mobile for a long time. But the company's really changing. It's not about a communication company for the mobile industry. It's really a company that has connected processor for the intelligent edge. And for all of those new markets, auto IoT, we're actually the new entrant. We're the challenger. We're the one competing with the incumbents and winning with technology.
So how do you approach being a new entrant then?
We have to be nimble, we have to be aggressive, and we have to be disruptive. And I think you saw the results of that, or what's happening with Qualcomm and Auto.
And I wanted to also ask about the Metaverse. You know, speaking of things that are disruptive, kind of cutting edge, one of the things everybody's been talking about is the Metaverse. What's kind of your take on the Metaverse and what its relationship may or may not be with Qualcomm?
It's real. It's going to be a very big opportunity. We started investing in fundamental technologies that allow the merger of physical and digital spaces over a decade ago. It's no secret that because of those early investment, for the over 40 virtual reality and augmented reality devices that exist in the world, all powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon XR. One of our biggest partnership is with Meta. We have been a very successful partnership with them for VR, with the Quests and the Quest 2. We announced at CES that we're now doing a custom chip for augmented reality with Microsoft as the Microsoft HoloLens get ready to scale. And we announced a partnership, for example, with ByteDance for the VR for TikTok. And we have a number of different developments to eventually be able to create companion to your smartphone with fully immersive augmented reality glasses that actually is going to look like this. And I think that's a big opportunity. It could be as big as phones.
And should we expect to see more partnerships like that then?
Absolutely. I think we're just at the beginning of this growth for the Metaverse.
And last question I wanted to ask you, you've been at the helm for about 9 months, and one of the things you talked about a lot when you started was the diversification of Qualcomm. There were so many areas you could operate in. How is that strategy going?
It's working. It's great. I think the fundamentals of our strategy are all in place. I think it's reflected in our financials. Actually, diversification has been responsible for the outperformance of Qualcomm. We saw that in Auto. We saw that in IoT. And the new mobile strategy also working. We're growing in mobile as well. So very proud of the accomplishments of the Qualcomm team, and we're just going to keep marching forward.
And how did you know that was the strategy when you took the helm, out of curiosity?
It was natural, it was the right thing to do. It's about seeing demand for technology in a number of different industries, and they hold to this whole topic that we talk about. It was my Milken panel earlier. Digital transformation is happening at virtually every industry.
Thank you so much for joining us. This was such a pleasure.
Likewise, very happy to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.